Native American folklore is filled with fascinating and spooky stories that have been told for generations. These tales are not just about scaring people. They also teach important lessons and reflect the tribe's values. Some of the most chilling stories involve scary spirits and shapeshifters that reveal the deepest fears of the people who share them. Let's look into 7 of the most terrifying Native American folklore that have captivated and frightened listeners for centuries. The Wendigo legend. The Algonquian tribes of North America, such as the Ojibwe, Cree, and Algonquin, have passed down many chilling tales, but none are as haunting as the story of the Wendigo. This evil, cannibalistic spirit symbolizes the darkest aspects of human nature, especially the dangers of greed and gluttony, and the terrifying consequences of isolation and starvation during harsh winters. The Wendigo legend serves as both a spooky story and a powerful warning. The Wendigo is often described as a gaunt, skeletal figure with grayish skin, sunken eyes, and a terrible stench of decay. Sometimes it is depicted with antlers or a stag's head, making it even more monstrous. The Wendigo is super strong and can hunt and eat its prey easily. It has good eyes, ears, and nose, making it great at finding food. It can move fast, like the wind, and walk on deep snow or water without sinking. According to legend, a Wendigo was once a human who resorted to cannibalism during a great famine. This desperate and taboo act transformed them into Wendigo, forever cursed to roam the wilderness in search of human flesh, always hungry and never satisfied. In the early 20th century, Wendigo crept into the vocabulary of Western medicine. Psychiatrists of the time began using it to describe a peculiar mental state in which individuals had strange urges to consume human flesh, or felt like people were planning to kill and eat them. The term's origins trace back to oblate missionary J.E. Sandon, who encountered it in the 1920s while working within a Cree community in the western James Bay area. During his time there, Sandon encountered a woman who described seeing strangers intent on killing and consuming her. Sandon, seeking to understand her condition through the lens of contemporary psychiatry, labeled it as a psychoneurosis, a term used to denote mental or behavioral disorders characterized by symptoms like depression and anxiety. Over time, this phenomenon became known as Wendigo psychosis. The Wendigo legend powerfully symbolizes the dangers of unchecked greed and gluttony. The Wendigo's never-ending hunger represents how destructive selfishness can be and how it can strip away one's humanity. The transformation from human to monster serves as a warning that moral corruption can lead to complete ruin. The Wendigo also highlights the consequences of isolation and starvation. The harsh winters faced by the Algonquian tribes were times of severe scarcity and danger. Communities had to support each other to survive. The Wendigo story thus teaches the importance of community, compassion, and the risks of giving in to despair and selfishness during hard times. The Wendigo legend can also be understood through psychological and social lenses. Psychologically, the Wendigo embodies primal human fears of hunger, loneliness, and losing control over one's actions. It represents how extreme stress can blur the lines between civilization and savagery. The tale of the Adlet myths are quite interesting because they provide a unique window into a culture's values and history, often through entertaining yet terrifying stories. One such tale from the Inuit people tells the story of the Adlet, a race of half-human and half-dog creatures. The story begins with a woman named Navira Song, the girl who lives with her father, Sevier Kong. Unlike other women in her community, Navira Song decided she would never marry, earning her the nickname Wendigo, meaning she wouldn't take a husband. Despite being surrounded by many suitors, she remained steadfast in her decision. In a surprising and taboo-breaking choice, she married a dog named Jerkang, who had white and red spots all over his body. This unusual marriage resulted in 10 children. 5 were regular dogs, but the other 5 were unique hybrids called adlet. The adlet had human upper bodies and dog lower bodies, reflecting a combination of human smarts and animal instincts. This combination made the adlet both intriguing and terrifying. Living in the harsh Arctic, the adlet family struggled a lot. Yerkang, being a dog, couldn't hunt, so they were often hungry. Navira Song's father, Sevia Kong, initially helped them out of duty. But he grew tired, frustrated and unwilling to support them anymore. He sent Navira Song and her children to a small, isolated island, promising to send meat for them to survive. A promise he would soon break in a cruel twist. One day, Jerkang volunteered to fetch the promised meat from Sevia Kong. Navira Song prepared him for the journey by hanging boots around his neck to carry the meat back to the island. When Jerkang reached the shore, Sevia Kong had a naughty plan in mind. Instead of filling the boots with meat, he filled them with stones. The added weight was too much for Jerkang, and he drowned on his way back to the island. Navigating was sad and enraged when she discovered her father's betrayal. Determined to avenge Jerkang's death and protect her children, she set out with her 10 offspring in a boat to confront Sevia Kong. Upon reaching his home, she instructed her children to attack their grandfather. However, Sevia Kong managed to push their boat away from the shore and, in the ensuing struggle, bit off Navira Song's fingers. The severed fingers fell into the ocean and miraculously transformed into whales and seals, adding a layer of mysticism to the tale. Fearing for her children's lives, Navira Song decided to send the adlet away to another continent. According to the legend, the adlet traveled across the sea and eventually became the ancestors of the Europeans. This part of the story weaves the supernatural origins of the adlet into the broader narrative of human migration, suggesting a mystical connection between the Inuit and European people. The adlet is depicted as towering over the Inuit and Europeans, possessing a fearsome combination of human and canine attributes. They are known for their aggression, especially when provoked or hungry. The adlet's wolf-like nature grants them incredible speed and endurance, making them formidable predators. Their ability to blend human intelligence with animal instincts makes them cunning and dangerous, capable of outsmarting and overpowering their prey. Mystery of the Skinwalkers. In Navajo culture, there's a chilling figure known as the Skinwalker. Picture this, a harmful witch or sorcerer with a spine-tingling power. They can transform into animals. The name Skinwalker comes from the Navajo phrase, Yi Naldlushi, meaning he who walks on all fours. Meaning he who walks on all fours. Talking about skinwalkers is like walking on thin ice in Navajo communities. Why? It's because they're linked to dark and downright scary stuff. These beings aren't your average shapeshifters. They're taboo, associated with sinister powers nobody wants to mess with. Skinwalkers don't just change their appearance for fun. They're believed to take on animal forms like coyotes, wolves, owls, or crows to cause chaos and hurt people. Their bag of tricks isn't limited to shape-shifting. They're rumored to have supernatural abilities, making them a force to be reckoned with. Navajo folks live in fear of these creatures, worried they'll bring sickness, death, or just plain bad luck. In some tales, a skinwalker is believed to have been a shaman in its past life. As a twisted rite of passage, they commit the horrific act of killing their own family to steal their souls. This dark ritual supposedly grants them the power to transform into any animal they choose, and, in rare cases, even take on the form of another person. They're cunning, too, capable of imitating voices to lure unsuspecting victims. Encounters with these evil creatures are chilling. People hear strange knocks on windows or walls or glimpse eerie animal-like shapes peering into their homes. According to Navajo legend, catching a skinwalker is rare. However, those who uncover their true identity can weaken or even destroy them by speaking their full name aloud. It's a tale of terror and justice intertwined in the shadows of the night. Tale of the Stick Indians. Stick Indians are part of the folklore of various Pacific Northwest tribes, including the Salish, Tlingit, and Haida. Though each tribe has its version of these spirits, they generally describe Stick Indians as small, human-like creatures that blend perfectly into the forest. With bodies covered in bark or moss, they can hide effortlessly among the trees. Stick Indians are famous for their creepy and dangerous tricks. They make strange, unsettling sounds, like whistling or eerie laughter, that confuse people and lead them deeper into the forest. Once someone is lost, Stick Indians can cause overwhelming fear and confusion, even driving people to madness. Those who encounter Stick Indians often wander, unable to find their way back. In the worst cases, they might never be found, believed to have been taken by the spirits or perished in the wilderness. Survivors often speak of lasting fear and trauma, developing a strong dread of the forest. Stories about Stick Indians serve several important purposes for the Pacific Northwest tribes. First, they act as cautionary tales warning people, especially children, not to wander alone in the forest. The fear of meeting a Stick Indian helps keep everyone safe and close to the community. These tales also show a deep respect for the forest and its mysteries. Stick Indians represent nature's unpredictable and sometimes dangerous side, reminding people that the forest is a place of both beauty and danger. The stories teach that the natural world is full of powerful spirits that deserve respect. Tale of the Flying Head. The Flying Head legend comes from the Iroquois, a group of Native American tribes in the northeastern United States and southeastern Canada. This tale has been passed down through generations, teaching important moral lessons. According to the story, the Flying Head is the spirit of an exceptionally evil person who was transformed into a monster after death. This transformation is a form of cosmic justice, where the consequences of one's wicked actions come back to haunt them. The Flying Head is described as a large, severed head with fiery eyes and sharp teeth. It has wings, sometimes like a bat or bird, allowing it to fly through the night. Some versions even depict it with a snake-like body, making it even more terrifying. One popular version of the tale tells of a cruel and arrogant leader who met a violent end at the hands of those he had wronged. In death, his spirit found no peace and turned into the Flying Head, cursed to wander the earth, forever hungry. Pukwudgis in the deep woods of North America was a creature called the Pukwudgie. Picture a tiny humanoid, like a gnome with a big nose and ears. These little guys are no ordinary forest dwellers. They have powers, like turning invisible or controlling the weather, that make them seem like characters from a fairy tale than real beings. Among the Wampanoag people, who've shared stories of the Pukwudgie for generations, these creatures have a reputation as protectors and pranksters. Sometimes they're like friendly forest guides, helping lost travelers find their way, offering food, or even sharing their knowledge of healing plants. Other times, though, they're up to no good. They might lead people off the path, causing them to get lost or play tricks that lead to accidents or sickness. What's fascinating is how the Pukwudgie's stories mirror the wild and unpredictable nature of the forests they call home. Like the woods, these creatures can be both enchanting and dangerous, depending on how you cross their path. So, are Pukwudgies forest friends or foes? Well, they're a bit of both. Legend has it that some tribes pass down stories about how Pukwudgies initially tried to be buddies with Native Americans. They wanted to help out and live in peace, but the humans didn't get it, or didn't appreciate the help. Eventually, the Pukwudgies got fed up. They felt like the humans weren't worth their kindness, especially since the humans seemed to prefer this big dude named Moshop over them. So, the Pukwudgies decided to become a real pain in the neck. They started pulling pranks like stealing food and throwing sand in people's eyes. Generally annoying. The humans got tired of their antics and complained to Moshop's wife, Granny Squannet. Granny Squannet passed the message to Moshop, who wanted to be more pleased. He asked the humans to round up all the pesky Pukwudgies they could find and bring them to him. The humans did as asked, and Moshop gathered all the captured Pukwudgies. Then, he flung them across what's now southern New England and into the Great Lakes region. That might explain how the Pukwudgies ended up in Indiana. The Deer Woman. The Deer Woman, also known as the Deer Lady, is a popular Native American mythology unique to Oklahoma, the Central Plains, and the Eastern Woodlands. She is described as a shapeshifter, known for her dual nature as a beautiful woman and a deer. Her most common depiction is that of a stunningly beautiful woman with captivating eyes and an alluring presence. Deer Woman is often portrayed as luring men away from their communities, using her beauty and charm to captivate them. Once isolated, she reveals her true form and tramples them to death. The Deer Woman's story teaches important lessons about staying faithful and respectful in relationship. In many Native American tribes, family and community are important, so breaking trust is seen as a big deal. Deer Woman shows what can happen when people don't stay loyal and respectful to each other. Also, Deer Woman's story warns us not to be fooled by how things look on the outside. Her beauty might seem attractive, but it's just a trick. This reminds us not to judge things by their appearance alone, and to look deeper for what really matters. One interesting fact about this tale, based on Ojibwe beliefs, is that the Deer Woman can be chased away with a good amount of tobacco. Other cultures hold the belief that her captivating spell can be broken by staring at her feet, which are actually hooves. These folklores remind us of the power of folklore in shaping cultural identity, instilling values, and preserving history. Do hit the like and subscribe button to show your support. Thanks for watching.